all due kudos to the Billerica Indians. Again, overall, they finished the season with a 14-6 season, 18-6 overall to this point. And then, of course, we have our Trojans, 15-5 in the regular season, came in, I believe, as a 5 seed overall, right? Would I say that wrong?
4 seed, I believe.
4 seed. The Indians came in as, I believe, a 7 seed. And later today, that's happening right now, I shouldn't say later today, as we speak, the Central Sectional Champion, the Neshoba Valley, a number 1 seed in that Central Sectional, 17-3 record going into the the Central Sectional, are going to play Westfield over at Tiverton Field. Is that how you pronounce that?
Tiverton Field, I believe.
Yeah, over in Worcester. And the West Sectional Champions, Westfield, a 7 seed in this sectional, finished with an 11-9 record, and they're going to go at it. And they're going at it right now as we start our game. So
center fielder number 22, Matt Clifford.
And there we go right now. So Matt Clifford steps in for the Indians. He's batting .263 on the season. And Jack Conley setting here. Gets the sandbag out of his way as he sets himself.
The rosin bag.
The rosin
Dries
bag.
his hand off.
There you go. And here's Conley's first pitch as we start the semifinals for the Division I. The first pitch, call ball.
You know, and for BR too, in their South Sectional semifinal game against Walpole, they were down 6-0 in the first inning, and don't count this team out. They came back in one dramatic fashion, 13-9.
That ball's fouled off, which yeah, good point by you. Evens the count to Clifford at 1-1. Conley sets. Here's the 1-1. Called strike. Nice pitch by Mr. Conley.
Conley, a big thing for him today is in the South Sectional semifinals, he was leaving his curveball up, and then Walpole was just hitting it all over the place. He has to keep that curveball down and make sure he's not giving him good pitches to hit. Just as we saw right there, curveball down low. Billerica can't hit the ball. If he's going to leave it up like he did against Walpole, they're going to smack it around the ballpark.
Yeah, Clifford fouls off that one, stays alive at 1-2. Again, Brian and I would like to welcome you all watching our broadcast here. We're hoping to bring you another one on Saturday. As we cross our fingers, we're hoping. Here's the 1-2. And that's grounded foul taken by the third base coach.
Pretty nice play there by the third base coach.
I would have let that go. With my cat-like reflexes. Conley sets himself. Here's the 1-2 to Clifford. Let's see what Friday goes with. That's popped up out of play over the Billerica dugout, actually out of the ballpark. And Mr. Clifford brought that inside heat, it looked like, there for a minute.
Yeah, pretty much every pitcher on this Trojans pitching staff does have pretty good amount of heat.
Conley sets himself to deliver the 1-2. Clifford has fouled off 3 consecutive balls. Doesn't bite on the curve. Tried to get him to bite on that inside curve. It almost looked like a little bit of a cutter for a second. No? Or that's just a basic inside curve.
That looked like kind of a slurve pitch.
Yeah. And that's drilled into center field, but right there for the catch is Tyler Carey for the first out.
Tyler Carey just continuing his just good play. I mean, we saw the South Sectional Finals, he had the game-winning catch, and then he doubled up the BCI runner on second base, took way too big of a lead, and obviously went 3 for 3 in that game offensively.
Now here's a dangerous hitter coming up for the Indians. He's batting .370, finished the season, Drew Slack, a .374 hitter. And I missed that. Was that called strike?
Yes, it was called strike.
So as I try to catch up to Brian here, Conley's second pitch. Nice pitches. He's hitting that corner. 0-2.
Very much better command here in this game than he was against Walpole.
Conley showing command early on. I mean, I don't want to say it too soon, but he's looking sharp. 0-2. And that's into right field. It gets by Sullivan. And there's the first hit of the ball game. Drew Slack, again, he's at 374 hitter. Now Gambale steps up. Gambale batting 345 to his own right. Conley sets, fires, called strike. I think Connor Sullivan on that hit the second kind of caught himself thinking middle. Maybe saw the spin go away from him.
Yeah, sometimes it might hit a piece of rock too as well.
Quick move back to first, and Clifford stays in there safe. McSherry just under his glove, but he was able to control the ball. Thank God it didn't go to the fence.
You know, some of it too could be nerves sometimes. I mean, we see it a lot of times. High school players, you know, the pretty much state semifinal, Eastern Mass Championship. Some nerves might be getting into them, and they'll go away after the first inning.
Right. Being an ex-baseball player yourself, I'd like to touch on that as well. Conley sets. Clifford takes a bigger lead at first, and that's driven to center. Should be right there for carry. Got caught a little bit back too far, but was able to come up with a nice sliding catch for the second out.
Nice sliding catch, the second one of this inning.
Now up the third baseman, number 31, Eric Agnanian.
So with 2 outs, McManian steps up. The big number 31 takes ball 1. And that's hit on a chopper to Sullivan, who takes it to McSherry to retire the sides. And after half of 1, we have no score. 4-3 on the putout.
Number 10, Tyler Carey.
So Tyler Carey leads off as we start the bottom of the first. We have no score. 1 hit so by Clifford, the leadoff hitter for Matt Clifford for the Billerica Indians. So Carey sits in, here's his first pitch. Called strike. And I believe he was probably given the take sign on that one. Yep. Shows bunt, pulls it back. There is no slashing in Federation rules, high school rules, so we won't see that. We don't have to worry about that. So the 1-1 now to the Trojans, leadoff hitter. And then he fouls that out of play down the first base line. Make the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frawley sets. Here's the 1-2. Hit to short on the bounce, and he is not going to finish the play. Connor McDonough, had a nice read on the ball and couldn't finish it, so
Just like
Carey will get the official mark. That will be an error.
Just like I said, this defense for Billerica has been suspect at times. Like I said, nearly twice as much runs has been unearned.
So just like that, we have a runner at first with nobody out, and in comes the shortstop, Glavin. He looks at ball 1. Wind blowing right to left. Actually, it's blowing right at our face, right in front of it. Right. I was trying to pay attention to the flag, but it's right at us. Going back with no hesitation is Carey.
Now it's going to be key for BR. Got your leadoff hitter on. Let's see if they can get him around the score.
Yeah. Frawley sets and fires in the dirt. I believe that makes it 2 balls, no strikes. We already have an error in the inning. Frawley sets. Quick throw back, but didn't say it safely, is Carey. Quick move, nice move on that pickoff try.
That quick feet right there, that's going to be key, especially for a right-handed pitcher. Because a lot of times you see the left-handed pitcher, all they have to do is that leg kick. With right hands, you have to turn around and throw, so quick feet are going to be key for a good pickoff move if you're a right-handed pitcher.
Frawley's hits the inside corner on Glavin with that. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Let's see if Carey goes on this 2-1 count.
Yeah. No, and the ball gets away. He'll get up and he will stand. Carey will turn at second. He'll look. He's going to try for 3. Here's a strike, and he is in there safely, and just like that, the Trojans have a chance to score and take a quick lead. Nice heads-up play by Carey as that ball got away. Frawley threw it in the dirt away from the big first baseman, and he was motoring.
Yeah, quick feet right there. Looks like the arm got out a little bit ahead of him. The ball was in the dirt, and Carey, with his speed, got to third base. Yeah, with a 2-1 count, you're expecting a soft pitch. He's trying to steal. That's why he made the pickoff attempt. Unfortunately, it went to the venting, and Tyler Carey is at third base. No one out. All Galvin has to do here is get the ball out of the infield.
And we already have 2 errors in this game so far. The 1-2 fouled off in the box to even the count at 2-2 to the shortstop for BR. And I bet you he is foaming at the mouth to knock him in right now. I know I have those colorful ways I say it, but I can't say any better than that.
This is a beautiful opportunity.
Absolutely. Frawley sets the 2-2. Hit the second baseman. He's going to try to throw him out at home, and he is safe! Under the tag. What a great slide by Carey as the Trojans take a 1-0 lead.
Man, if I'm the shortstop there, I'm going to first base. You know you don't want to give up the run, but you have to trust your offense right there. Now you have another runner at first base. Nobody out in the inning. Once again, just questionable defense by the Indians of Billerica.
Now batting the left fielder, number 7, Mike Brummel.
So Brummel steps up with a chance to knock around Glavin, who, like you said, should have been a routine play to first. That tells me something about the Indians team. I'll touch on that in a minute.
I mean, I understand you don't want to give up any runs, and you're trying to get the runner out at home, but you know, with that, it's easy just to go across the diamond and get that one run, the one out, and just exchange that one run.
Yep. Brummel sets, takes the inside strike. I notice how Frawley likes to, he has not really delivered anything to the outside of the plate. He's trying to jam it so these Trojan hitters cannot extend their hands. He fouls that off.
Well, as we can see now on the TV screen, there's going to be a huge gap in between the second baseman and the first baseman because that second baseman is going to be covering in case of the steal. So he's going to try and stay away from that outside pitch so that Brummel doesn't go the opposite field.
And there's a line shot to center field, but right there with the make the catch is Matt Clifford for the first out of the inning. Glavin goes back. Let's fly out to 8 for the first out. And then comes the
Now batting the catch, number 24,
the
Joe
big man
Friday.
himself, Joe Friday, who I believe is batting through 345 if we read that right, and I had to look at that twice and even with my glasses on. So Joe steps up with 1 out. Glavin at first. He takes off, he goes. Here's the throw, and he is all set. It gets thrown in the center field. Glavin gets up, he's going to stand up at third, uncontested, and the Trojans have another chance to grab another run.
Well, that is already the third error of the inning for the Indians of Billerica. And as you can see, runner at third base, 1 out. Once again, all you have to do is get the ball out of the infield.
So just like that, the third ever, we have an E1, E6, and an E2 as of record. And that's popped up. Could be playable by, I think that's out of play. I thought the big first baseman was going to have a play on that, and the wind helped him out. And we touched on that earlier, how the wind's blowing right in our face, right into the batters.
Fans, please return all foul balls. Thank you.
So with 1 out, Friday in the hole with 0-2. Frawley sets, he goes to the windup now. Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3.
You know, if you have 2 strikes on you, you got to be swinging at anything close right here. You have a beautiful opportunity. Runner at third, 1 out. Now there's 2 down. A simple single will get the runner in, but you know, a fly ball, you can't get that sacrifice fly anymore.
Exactly correct. You're right. Can't hit the nail in better on the head there. You have to take advantage. He hits the ball to deep center up to the outfield. We score another run. Ball 1 to Miller. Trojans threatening again. Here's the 0-1 in the dirt. Evens a count of 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the designated hitter. Glavin at third. Reach third with an error thrown away by the catcher. The 1-1. Ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Should be 2-1, not 1-2. I have 2-1. If I'm wrong, I apologize back home. So we'll go with it. Here's the 2-1. And okay, I apologize again. He walked him, so I missed 2 pitches. So now with 2 out, Miller reaches on base on balls. We have Glavin at third, who reached on an error by the catcher. That'll bring up McSherry, Brian McSherry, the big first baseman for the Trojans. And again, like you touched on the pregame, we have Neshoba Valley and Westfield playing as we speak out in Worcester. The winner of that contest obviously will play the winner of this. So we have a little conversation with, here we go. Now they're going to try to set a play.
They have PR runners on first and third. They're going to see if they can steal second to see what the catcher does.
Yep.
If I was Mr. Carney, Coach Carney, I would definitely send him at first base. The catcher just threw one into center field.
Yep. Frawley sets. Here's a first pitch. Fouled off. Nice rip by the first baseman. You're right. I mean, if anyone's showing jitters right now, the Trojans must be feeling good as far as taking advantage of these mistakes like any good ball team would. Here's the 0-1 by Friley to McSherry. Curveball high and away, he fouls that one off. So McSherry is definitely a let-a-high hitter if he's going to go after those.
Yeah, especially if it's a curveball up in the zone. Usually that means it's a hang and breaking ball. Just beautiful pitch for home runs.
Here's the 0-2. And that's fouled down. They're going to say it's a fair ball. They're going to say they got him on the tag.
Yeah, it looks like it was just riding the line the entire time.
After the first,
so
the Trojans lead the Indians 1-0.
So after 1 inning complete, our score, Indians 0, the Trojans 1. We'll be right back with more from Frazier Field.
The Dog Whisperer coming.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Hi, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, Brian Barad, Dominic Damiano, as we give you this semifinal state tournament game between our Bridgewater Raynham Trojans and the Billerica Indians.
Leading off the second.
You know what? And I forgot the mark down, not scoring summary. Shame on me. Is John Luck going to have my butt on that one? Conley sets again, up 1-0. Ball high. We'll write down that we had an error on the. We have 3 errors already. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch by Conley. Blew it right by him. Old-fashioned heat. Here's 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1. Let's see if these Billerica hitters stay patient. That's high. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, the hitter now knows a fastball is coming. He's looking for it in his wheelhouse. 3-1 count, hitters count. See if he can put a good swing on it.
Here's a 3-1. Swung on and missed. Way to battle back, Mr. Conley. Evens the count at full. Should be 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you're right. 3-2.
Every now and then. Here's a 3-2. And that's foul right over the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans dugout. Hopefully the fans are all right.
Just speaking of the fans, not a bad turnout here for the Trojans faithful. Have them traveling all the way up here to Lynn and game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Bruins and Blackhawks.
I know, right? And just like that, Tyler Glavin rakes that right in for the first out. Kyle Murphy steps in for the Indians. He's batting .395, number 27 is. Ball one. Conley sets. I could have sworn that was a strike. So we got 2 balls, eh? I'm doing a terrible job at this scorebook. And there I was thinking, Brian, I was ambidextrous. Here's a 2-0.
Not going to be sending your application in to be an MLB umpire soon?
No, sir. Or at least a scorekeeper. 3 balls, no strikes to Kyle Murphy, batting, again, according to our stats, .395.
Well, 4 straight pitches and a walk. See if Billerica can get something going here.
Right.
Now batting the pitcher number 18, Max.
Just for people's, I know we're going to have a timeout as the pitching coach will go out and talk to Jack Conley.
It's going to be Coach Glenn DePompriand.
There we go. He's going to talk to Mr. Conley, settle him down, see what's going on. And just for the people watching back home, in the state championship series, I've noticed, and I'm not sure about the South sections. You were there. You'd know better than I would. I didn't make it this year. I apologize, but they play a 3-man umpiring crew, which I think's a credit to the MI. They should. So the umpiring chief there is going to break it up. And let's see if that little pep talk settles Mr. Conley down. We got 1 out, which was Lavery to lead off this inning. Kyle Murphy reached on the base on balls. And here's the pitcher, Max Friley. Takes ball 1. Conley sets and fires. And that's 5 balls in a row he's thrown. Conley sets, looks over. Called strike. He answers back right there with a nice strike. And Max Frawley was waiting. Max Frawley also batting a decent .347. Conley looks over at first, sets, and he fires. And there's a dribbler to the third baseman. And just like that, nice play by Noviello.
We'll get it eventually.
That's right. Well, I'll get it. You already have it. So that's the second out to the inning with 2 outs. Chris Murphy steps in for the Indians.
That does move the runner up to second base for Billerica, so a single here should score the run. That'll be key for the Indians.
They're going to check to see if he went.
He did.
And he did. Murphy batting .278 on the season. Conley sets. And that's fouled in the box. You know what's funny being an official as I watch the way the ball, and like you said, this field is falling. I hate to say it, it's falling apart.
Yeah, it's old turf. We kind of saw that at Marciano Stadium with the Brockton Boxers football team. It's just an old turf, and they did a nice job redoing it.
0-2. Third pitch is called a ball to Chris Murphy.
Yeah, as you can see, just a bunch of divots, just a bunch of turf missing.
Conley sets the 1-2. And that's hit to short, and that gets by him. They're going to try to bring the run. And they're going to hold him. Mike Brummel, who has a bullet for an arm, was able to catch his composure and get that ball as it got by Tyler Glavin in the left field.
Pretty, some indecision right there from Billerica. He could have easily scored, but Brumel with the bobble, he didn't know that he bobbled the ball.
Yeah.
So he stayed at third, making the safe play.
That was a safe play because we just saw someone just take out his pistol permit and fire one to home. I guess probably the only nice way to say it, right?
Good reference, yeah.
So 2 outs first. We have Murphy at first. His brother Kyle at third now with 2 outs. And Connor McDonough steps in. Conley sets, fouls the first one out of play. Again, turning into a beautiful night here at Frazier Field.
Yeah, the wind has died down just a little bit.
And I was worried about that when we were setting up, to tell you the truth. I was.
Yeah, it was blowing the rain at us.
Oh, yeah. Here's the 0-1. Oh, and I thought he was going to catch him leaning the wrong way because you know how that curve, if it bends right, can catch that inside corner. Evens the count at 1-1 to the shortstop, Connor McDonough, who comes in this game batting .333 in the season. The 1-2, one-timer back to Conley, over to McSherry, and they go down 1-3 and a put out with that. We will step away. You are watching BTV 40 Sports Talk state semifinal game. We'll be right back.
Game-changing play. Pulls up, turnaround to win it. Got it! Welcome back to the madness.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hey, welcome back to Frazier Field. Brian Barad, Dominic Damiano, as we give you this semifinal State Division I tournament game between the Billerica Indians and the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans. Trojans up 1-0. Clifford stepping in, who flew out to center field in the first.
It's a nice sliding catch by Carey in the first inning.
Nice curve in there for a strike. At least that's what it looks like from our seats.
If it's a strike to you, it's a strike to me.
There it is. Here's the 0-1 by Conley. And that's fouled off out of play over the BR fans, dugout and fans. Good crowd showing up to support the home team. We're hoping to give you another game on Saturday. Here's the 0-2 to Clifford. High and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Indian center fielder. That's fouled off. Now over to his dugout, out of play, over the Indians' dugout. He stays alive at 1-2. I missed that one. Someone must have caught a ball. The rosin bag. What do I call it? A sandbag before?
Rosin bag.
I got all excited. The game was starting, you know. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, drop third strike. And they make that look easy as he goes out 2-3. Friday to McSherry for the first out in the third. Drew Salk steps in. We talked about him earlier. He's batting .374. That's how he ended the regular season. He singled in the first on an 0-2. Ball 1. There you go. Joe kind of a little moisture there. Got to blame him as we grab the dirt, make it look like it was sweaty. I think the ball just got out of a poor kid's hand. And there's a ball ripped to right center deep. That is going to be off the wall. Grabbing the ball is Kerry. He's going to fire it in. Taking the corner with a triple just like that is Drew Selk with 1 out. That ball was roped. He got all of that. That was a one-hopper to the wall.
Yeah, he just left the pitch up in the zone like he was doing in the South Sectional semifinals, and a great job of hitting. And a triple, runner on third now, like I said in the first inning with BR. Just get the ball out of the infield, and Billerica can tie this game up.
Rob Gamble comes into this game, also batting .345 for the Indians. Conley looks at Selk. Fires, called strike. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2, same pitch, same location, same result.
Typically when you get in a jam like this, you're always going to go to your best pitch, and that's going to be your fastball.
So let's see what he gives with the 0-2, 1 out. Indians threatening with a runner at third. Called strike 3.
Hey, come on, you have a runner at third base. You're down 0-2. You got to swing at anything close, tie this ball game up.
And unfortunately, we've mentioned that about Joe Friday. We need a chance to bring in another run, and he saw probably the same. He had the same result when he was up. So with 2 outs, here comes the big first baseman, Ikanen, batting .325. Takes strike 1.
Good job here by Connolly, settling down after giving up that triple.
Conley gets the sign. He shakes off the first one, sets himself and fires. There's a dribbler to third base, taken by Norviello over to McSherry, and they go down. Besides, nothing hurt by the Trojans.
After 2.5, the score remains.
Now batting for the Trojans.
Also, if you want to follow the BTV Out of Bounds page, you can follow it on Twitter at BTVOB, as well as on Facebook at www.facebook.com/BTVOB.
Which I forgot to mention, Mr. Glavin is batting .370 coming into this game. Takes ball 1. Reached on an error, I believe. Galvin, sorry. I added another letter to the gentleman's name. And that's popped up down the first base line out of play. Thank God you are here to fix my my English. I have no shame. I mean, if I want to get the kids' names right. Sometimes I get a little bit too ahead of myself. So 1-1 to Galvin. Ball high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Just released that curveball a little too soon.
And there's ripped down to third base. Throws across a diamond. 5-3 for the Indians. Of course, that's Ikanen over to Murphy, just like that, for the first out of the bottom of the third. Bermel steps in, who flew out the center field in the first for the first out. And he rips one to center field, and that'll fall off the center field's glove in for a hit. Clifford couldn't finish the play, so Bermel reaches at first.
It's going to be the 4th error on the Indians tonight.
East 7. Let's get the officials. It's officially scored an error. Now batting is Joe Friday, who struck out looking for the second out of the first inning. Lavery Setch, who came in relief for Frowley, who hurt his elbow. Dribbles one down the third base. They're going to try to turn it, and they do.
Well, great job by Billerica turning the double play, getting out of that little jam.
Arikian, Rod Gambell to Chris Murphy, and they turn the double play. And after 3 complete, your score, Billerica 0, the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans 1. We'll be right back.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning. Why?
Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this.
You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately.
That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better.
Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Frazier Field in Lynn, Massachusetts. Brian Barad, Dominic Damiano. Dylan Lavery steps in. Also relief now steps in to hit. He flew out to the third baseman in the second. Takes ball one. And as we mentioned in the pregame, the winner of this game will take on the winner of the Neshoba Valley Westfield game, which is going on in Worcester. Fouled off, evens a kind of 1-1. Nice little curveball there. I'll be honest with you. My bad point is that I think it's a curve and it's a breaking ball. I think it's a breaking ball and it ends up being a cutter or a slider.
Yeah,
I can see the fastball.
It technically breaks.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now it's 2 balls, 1 strike to the pitcher who came in relief. Conley grabs a resin bag, throws it down, sets himself. And here's a 2-1. And it's drilled up to center field for base hit. That is the fourth hit, excuse me, for the Indians. That'll bring up Kyle Murphy, the second baseman.
Now batting the right fielder, number 27, Kyle Murphy.
Kyle Murphy, who reached on a base on balls and then was moved around to third, I believe, by a single by his brother Chris Murphy. So with nobody out, the Indians threatening top of the fourth inning. Nice stop by Joe Friday.
That's a great stop right there, because if not, you're going to have a runner in scoring position with no one out.
High and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out. We do have a strike. How come I don't? I thought I saw 2 balls. 2 balls, 1 strike. Time is called by Joe Friday to settle down Mr. Conley. See, I actually got it right again. 3 balls, no strikes.
Wow, we must be wicked good.
We must be wicked good. It was that long ride up here. That phenomenal Boston traffic.
Nothing like it.
3 balls, no strikes, 3-0 to the Indians, second baseman Kyle Murphy. Called strike. Of course, he took the take pitch, pretty obvious. They really haven't got a rhythm down except for that 1 triple by Drew Salek in the second. And they're going to say if he went no on a check swing. So now the Indians are threatening with nobody out, first and second. And in comes John Connie, the manager, asks for time. He's going to go talk to Conley and see what's going on.
It's going to bring the entire infield in, it looks like.
Yep. He gives him a little pat in the back, like a good manager should. Let him know that there's nothing hurt. We're still up by 1. We can get out of this.
Yeah, he's actually just trying to calm his players down. And,
yep.
Don't forget, you do have a double play force out available if you do get the ground ball out. The only bad part about that is depending on where the ball is hit, you're going to have a runner on third base.
And
actually, no, what am I talking about? You have a force out at third base anyway. It's a chance for a triple play. What am I talking about?
Yep.
Don't mind me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so here we go. Conversation's over.
Catcher number 8, Justin Winchell.
Well, actually, it depends. If you do get a ground ball to the right side of the infield, you depending on how hard it's hit and if a player has to make a dive, you might have to end up with the runner on third. We'll just wait and see.
Shows bunt, pulls it back. Oh, a snap throw.
Or you might not even get a chance if they do a bunt. I mean, this is a pretty smart move right here by Billerica. Get a runner and score at third base, and you only have one out if it is a successful bunt.
Winchell batting just under 200 will bat in Frawley's spot, the starting pitcher. Shows bunt.
He did offer.
Let's see what we have for a count here. I believe it should be 1-1. It is. The 1-1 shows bunt in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Larry at second. Murphy at first for the Indians. Trying to get something going here. With nobody out, top of the 4th. And a snap throw back. Oh, and they threw, now he throws the ball away. He's going to hold. And that'll probably be listed as an error.
Yeah, that should be. I mean, they
E2.
had him easily by a mile, and I know he was caught in the middle of it. All they had to do was get him in a rundown. Unfortunately, threw the ball into center field.
And it is E2. So everybody, now that moves Lavery over to third on a wild throw by Joe Friday.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if Billerica is going to steal second base.
Let's see what happens here on the 3-1 to Winchell. Called strike.
Well, that's going to take off the bunt now for Billerica. He can't bunt it foul. That would be a strikeout.
Yeah, why give BR the free out? Here's the 3-2. Murphy at first, Lowry at third. And that's a ball hit. And he has the ball, and so they get the force at second. I don't know if he looked the guy back at third, but just like that, Lavery's scores to tie the game at 1. I don't understand that play because I understand you got Murphy, the guy at first.
Well, it looks like he did look the runner down a little bit because, I mean, it was a delayed
Why didn't
run.
I guess my point is, why didn't you not look at the guy at third?
I think he did, just not long enough. I mean, you see head coach John Carney, yelling at his first baseman, use your head there. Look him down, make sure he doesn't score.
Yep.
But nonetheless, this game is now tied, and, the BR Bats have gone quite, quiet. Only 1 hit, and that was back in the first inning, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Billerica now has 4 hits.
So with nobody out, trying to add to a lead. Swung on and missed. Nice cut by Chris Murphy. Conley sets and fires. And he'll go down by means of the K, the second out.
Big strikeout right there. Not only is that going to stop momentum, but that's going to get confidence back up for Connolly.
So this should bring up Connor McDonough if I didn't.
Shortstop number 10, Connor McDonough.
I actually did that right. He went out 1-3 in the second inning and finished, which actually was a third out of the second inning. Conley sets, fires. And like you mentioned before, that ball was high and away. You cannot leave that ball up there.
No, but if it's way, way high and away, you just might as well leave it there.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully he won't get in a rut and he'll try to overcompensate and leave one hanging.
You see, sometimes like we're seeing here, the first 2 pitches were fastballs up. The adrenaline might be going a little bit, a little bit amped up a little. So he's just going to be able to calm down. For me, I would just take a step off the mound, collect my breath, and go back out there.
There you go. Here's a 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes to the shortstop. Winchell reached on the fielder's choice. That's exactly what it was. 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out.
Looks like BR is going to be sending some pitches out to the bullpen.
Yep.
Assistant coach Rob Hinckley going out there.
Called strike. So let's see what happens here. with the 3-1, 1 out. Game tied at 1 now. Here's the pitch. Caught strike. He's battling back. God bless him, to his credit. He's battling back. Got a full count, 1 out. Winchell, the catcher, who reached on a fielder's choice. Quick back throw by Conley. Almost caught the catcher, Winchell, leading the wrong way. Conley sets. Another quick throw back to McSherry. But diving in the end of the tag with enough time is Winchell. Conley looks at him again. Sets. Here's the full count pitch. And that's hit the second baseman to Sullivan. Over to McSherry. And I missed an out somewhere. Oh, no, I did it right. Hey, I did it right. Now retires the sides. 4-3. And after 3.5, your score, we're tied at 1. Everybody, welcome back to Frazier Field. Brian Barad, myself, Dominic Damiano, giving you this great contest between the Billerica Indians and the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans. Up to bat now is Miller, the designated hitter, Call takes strike 1. Lowry, who's done a great job in relief for the Indians.
Good
curveball
right there.
Ahead of this hitter, 0-2, just like that. Here's the 0-2, setting up outside. Swung on and missed for the first out of the inning. Miller goes down the means of the K.
That's what you call getting gassed up right there. Just couldn't catch up to that beat. That fastball.
Now in comes the big first baseman. I'd like to see big Brian McSherry get a good piece of it. He grounded out to the first baseman in the first inning. Got caught up in the tag. Takes ball 1. Again, tied up at 1 as we start the bottom of the 4th. Here's the next pitch.
Tries a backdoor curveball. Nothing doing.
2-0 to the big first baseman of the Trojans. Here's the 2-0. And that could fall in for a hit, and it does. There you go. Good job by the big first baseman. And he's 1 for 2 in the day. And now the Trojans hopefully get something going as they have their first runner on with nobody out. We start the ball again, the bottom of the 4th inning.
Definitely going to be key. Get your leadoff runners on, get them around to score. Because not only can you do that, you can use outs to get them around.
So DeNuno steps in, who flew out the center in the second inning for the first out of the second. McSherry at first. As time's called. We're going to have a pinch runner. And pinch running, and I apologize, I have it right here, I'm sorry. Pinch running is Mike Clifford, number 4.
Pinch running for BR is number 4. Mike Clifford.
See how good we are? We got it ahead of the PA announcer again.
Well, I'm telling you, we're just wicked good.
We are wicked good. So now Clifford steps in. They got some speed at first. Definitely a threat. First pitch is high and away to Danino. Clifford taking a decent lead at first. Laurie knows he's there. And that's driven. That could fall in for a hit. And right there for the catch is Kyle Murphy for the Indians for the first out of the inning. I thought that was going to fall, but it didn't. So Danino flies out to the right fielder.
Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Andrew Noviello.
So Noviello steps in, singled in the second. Clifford pinch running for McSherry, dives back safe.
You know, Don, just when we said we were wicked good, we forgot the leadoff batter struck out.
I know. We don't want to mention that.
All right, we're sort of good.
We're sort of good.
All right, the throw gets away.
And there you go. The ball gets away, and Clifford will stand up at second. You're right. We did miss the first out.
Well, let's see if BR can capitalize on this runner in scoring position, take back that lead.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, both these teams were very good. They are really getting to themselves mentally. Too many errors.
Well, especially for Billerica, that's their 5th error on the game, and yet BR has only been able to put in 1 run.
Yep. Another E1. This time credit to Lowry. Clifford at second with 2 outs. I apologize. There's a shot. That's going to be up there. 2 outs. He's running, the third baseman. And just like that, threatening, but they go down. And after 4 complete, your score, the Indians won, the Trojans won. We'll be back.
Welcome back to the Cable 8 News. I am John Myers.
And I'm Nick Palmieri.
And Nick, nice to have you here on the set.
It is.
Or is it nice to have me on the set?
He's still got it! Oh my God! Bridgewater
second effort, third effort, and fourth effort.
This is a community facility. BTV Cable Access is here to present and to represent all the voices in town.
Many members of this corporation who have served voluntarily and spent many hours of their personal time to work toward creating a local network with varied programs to serve the community of Bridgewater.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
It's about community, it's about coming together, it's about helping us out, because at the end of the day, that's what makes all of us strong.
.76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
Again, Brian Barad, Dominic Damiano, we're here at Brazier Field. Top of the 5th. If I don't keel over and suffocate.
Center fielder number 22, Matt Clifford.
Clifford starts the top of the 5th. He is 1 for 2 on the day. No, I'm sorry, he is 0 for. I apologize. He flew out to center and 2 to 3. It flew out to center in the first. Shows bunt. Nice bunt down the line. That'll be picked up foul. Nice job by Novello. Noviello. I'll get it right.
Eventually.
No, I'll get it. The other one bailing me out again.
So right there, when you see that's bunting for a hit. That's not a sacrifice bunt. He's bunting, trying to get it past the pitcher and use his speed to get on.
Good point. Conley sets the 0-1 to the leadoff hitter. Hard strike.
Great curveball. Had his knees buckling right there.
0-2, and again, I'm sorry, Clifford flew out to the center fielder 2 to 3 in the third inning. He's 0 for 2. Conley sets, here's the 0-2, and fires in the dirt low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tied at 1. 5 errors for the Indians, which you mentioned earlier. Here is Conley, delivers the 1-2. And that's driven foul down the left field line, third base line out of play. Left field line, yep. So Clifford stays alive. 0-2.
There's a BR faithful right here. That pretty good fan section right here. They traveled very, very well.
Here is the 1-2. Hits him, that's a dead ball.
That's definitely what you want to do. You're up in the count 1-2. You don't want to put the leadoff hitter on.
And hit by pitch. Let's see what comes of this. That'll bring up Drew Slock, who tripled on that hanging curveball you mentioned earlier in the third.
Fielder, number 2, Drew Salk.
Drew Salk, excuse me. Indians threatening again. Winner of the North Sectional. Conley sets. Steps off and good. I always like that when the pitcher has enough composure. Knows if I step back, I'm going to scare him back anyway.
Exactly. Pitcher, your main goal is make sure that runner stops, and you can just stare him down and hold the ball as long as you want. Make sure that runner stops, because we see a lot of times with Jacoby Ellis where he's going to get that walking lead, and he's easily going to steal 5 bases like he did against the Philadelphia Phillies with that walking lead. So as the pitcher, just make darn sure that that runner isn't continuing his lead.
Yep. Quick snap throw back. He had no contact with the rubber. He was considered a fielder, so it wouldn't have been a balk if he didn't throw the ball. Here's the next pitch. Called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slack, who singled in the first and tripled in the third. Welcome to Lynn with the gunshots, and I'm only kidding. I'm being fresh. Here's a 1-1.
It was about time it happened.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think Mr. Conley wants a little redemption over this hitter. This is probably the best hitter in their lineup so far today.
Oh, certainly.
Conley sets. Here's the 1-2. Runner goes in the dirt. They're going to say the base was occupied, which it was, so he's automatically out.
Exactly. Yep.
But
even though the runner on first can advance, even it was a steal, but you can still advance.
So we'll call that a K, which it is. He swung and missed. So with 1 out, that moves the runner Clifford, the leadoff hitter, to second on that drop third strike.
Good curveball right there from Conley.
Gambell takes strike 1. Another good curveball by Conley. Like, good point by you. Tied at 1. Conley sets, looks at the runner. He fires high and away. I guess it was high and away.
Yeah, it looked a little high and away.
Conley steps off. And I'll tell you right now, I would not be running on Joe Friday. I don't know if I should have mentioned that in the first. Conley sets. Here's the 1-1. And that's fouled off. McSherry's going to try to make a play on it. And that top's right there. And thank God he didn't go. Thank God he caught himself. He could have got really hurt. That'll make the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gambell, who flew out the center in the first, struck out looking in the third. And the rain's starting to come in. We might have to move our stuff over. Here's the 1-2 with 1 out. See, I got it right that time.
Redemption.
We're at the top of the 5th. There it's a pitch. Fouled off, out of play, right back over, straight back. Two foul balls so far by Gambell, staying alive at this count. He's in the hole 1-2 for the Indians. Steps off again, resets himself. I like the way they check off a pitch. The Trojans do. He'll step off and reset himself instead of waiting to shake his head. Next pitch, strung on a miss, drop third strike. And Friday, looking at second, has enough composure, who fires the first for the second out. Easy play, 2-3 in the put out for the second out.
Number 31, Eric
McManian, which I don't pronounce that name at all, McManian. Grounded 4-3 in the first, 6-3 in the third, both for the ending out of each of those innings. He steps in.
Well, hopefully he goes 3 for 3 in that category.
And getting a good jump. Nice read is Clifford. And for that 10 seconds, Friday lost the ball. Didn't know where it was, and Clifford took a shot. And now with that, the go-ahead run for the Indians with 2 outs is at third base.
This is where Connolly has to bear down right here. The go-ahead run 90 feet away at third, 2 out.
Conley sets and fires. Oh, what a play by the second baseman to get out of that inning.
What a play.
Connor Sullivan going over to his right. We'll step away. We are tied at. We'll step away. We are tied at 1. Bottom of the 5th for the Trojans. Throws on a nice bunt down the third baseline. He is safe. Oh, baby. Textbook bunt right down the third baseline.
Great bunt right there. One of the best bunts are going to go past the pitcher and just in front of the third baseman and shortstop. That's a bunt for a hit right there. Great job. That's how you start off the inning.
Good job to start off the top of the 5th, bottom of the 5th. And in comes Kerry. Scored the first run, the only run as of right now. Singled in the first, struck out in the second. Laurie, and there's a pass ball. That'll get by the catcher. And that'll move Sullivan into scoring position. And now a little bit of jump from BR as they come to bat now in the top bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, runner in scoring position. Nobody out. Tyler Carey's had himself a pretty good postseason.
Next pitch called strike. That'll leave it off at 1-1. Carey kind of says, I'm not sure about that. The way he just shrugged off his head. 1 ball, 1 strike. We have 5 errors from the Indians, 1 credited to the Trojans. And like a good team, they moved their runners around. They just couldn't capitalize. Otherwise, we'd have a bigger score than we have right now.
Exactly. I mean, with 5 errors, BR should be easily winning this game 3-4, 5-0 right now. Easily could have had 2 or 3 runs in the first inning.
Lavery said, who came in relief. Here's his 1-1. Shows bunt. That's right down the line. That is picked up fair, and he is out right there. That is a nice play. But he does his job. He moves the runner over.
Well, even though the fans don't like it, he was out just by a hair. Pretty good bunt right there, sacrifice. Now you got a runner 90 feet away with 1 out. Just get the ball out of the infield, and BR will take another lead.
Now batting for BR, the shortstop, number 9, Tyler Glavin.
Glavin steps in. He is 1 for 3, singled in the first, 5-3 in the third. We have a runner at third. Let's see what happens here. Called strike. Takes strike 1, I'm sorry. Lavery now goes to the windup. And there it drives in the hit. Nice shot by Galvin. And just like that, BR takes a 2-1 lead.
Great job. Great piece of hitting right there in between the third baseman and the shortstop. Took the pitch on the inside corner, pulled it. BR takes another lead, 2-1.
And just maybe it's me, but it looks like you can see the composure in these hitters. They look like they're up there just having fun. They're starting to time them better now.
Exactly. When you're in the zone, and sometimes if you're on a good hitting streak, these baseballs look like beach balls when you're up at plate.
Now stepping in is Brummel. Flew out to the center fielder and grounded out to the shortstop. Takes strike 1. I got so excited I forgot to give him the credit for the hit on the scorebook. Here's the 0-1. And that's driven to right. That could be overplayed, but under it is the right fielder. Just like that for the second out of the inning. Good play by Kyle Murphy. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Joe Friday.
Number 24, Joe Friday.
Friday, who struck out looking in the first and grounded out 4-3. Excuse me, in the third. Galvin at first takes a big, good size lead. Laurie fires. Ball high to the catcher. If he reaches Miller, the designated hitter will get up. We have a little conference between Winchell and now Lowry, who's in there. Lowry sets. Could be a quick throw back to first. See what happens. Lowry fires with the 1-0. High and away. 2-0.
Let's lift that curveball up a little bit.
Quick throw back. There it is. I thought that was going to come. You see that a lot in high school ball, the way they just da-da-da, and then they throw it over there, try to catch them sleeping.
Well, as you're seeing, they've already thrown 2 balls to the fence over there on pickoff attempts.
Friday takes strike 1, makes the count 2 balls, 1 strike to the Trojans catcher. With 2 outs, here's the 2-1. And on the steal is Galvin. He'll be in there safe. Nice jump. Caught the catcher leaning to the wrong side, trying to play that pitch thrown by Lowry. He was able to get in there with a nice slide. And now the Trojans are threatening again with Galvin now at second on us with the stolen base.
Perfect count to steal on 2-1. You know something soft's going to come into the dirt. Good job.
He'll walk. Galvin at first. Galvin at second. Friday at first. That brings up Miller, the designated hitter. And if he reaches, McSherry will get up. Walked in the first, struck out in the fourth. Ball 1. Lowry in a jam here with 2 outs. Here's his next pitch. High and away, 2 balls. Starting to show a little bit of wear and tear, this pitcher for the Indians. In the dirt, makes the count 3-0. And the big guy, my favorite, Brian McSherry, is on deck, who had a nice opposite field hit his last time up at bat.
And you especially don't want the bases loaded for him, but looks like the way they've been pitching, he's lost his composure a little bit. The catcher going out there telling him to relax, calm down, just throw a strike right here.
He's probably going to take it. No reason to swing for it. He's ahead. It's a hitter's count at 3-0. 2 outs. Galvin at second. McFriday at first takes strike 1 on the corner. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Well, with the 3-1 count, you know the fastball is coming. Like I said earlier, just look for that pitch in your zone and give it a good ride.
Lowry, the Indians pitcher, trying to battle back. His next pitch, high and away. So we'll load the bases. Galvin at third. Friday at second. Miller at first, who just reached on the base on balls. Will bring up Brian McSherry, the big first baseman. And out to talk to him right away is Joe Higgins. Again, his 6th year over at Billerica, 6th year coaching the Indians over at Billerica High School. Like you said, nice crowd by the home team there. A lot of guys making the trip out here to Lynn. So let's see what
first baseman number 11, Brian McSherry.
Sherry, who grounded out to first in his first at bat in the first inning, and then had a nice single in the 4th.
Good fastball right there, just blew it right by him.
Challenged him. That's probably what Brian wanted. He wanted to get a piece of a good fastball. He just missed it.
You can't do anything special right here. I know a lot of times bases loaded, you're going to swing for the fences.
Got to keep his head in there. 0-2.
Don't try to be the hero. Just take a nice, smooth swing, get a single. A run or two are definitely going to come home.
Yep. Lowry sets. Bases loaded for the Trojans. Bottom of the 5th. Lowry's 0-2. Fouled off. He stays alive.
He's just elevating those fastballs, just challenging McSherry right now.
Here we go, the 0-2, staying alive. Here's the pitch. Out.
Very close.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Good discipline by the first baseman. Lowry sets, trying to get himself out of a jam. Trojans up by 1 now. Here's the 1-2. And that's ripped into left center for a base hit. Here comes 1 run. 2 runs will score. Ball cut off, and just like that, the Trojans take a 4-1 lead.
Just like I said, don't do anything special. Take a nice smooth swing, nice opposite field hit there from McSherry. 2 RBI single. That's just like I said. And the inning still isn't over because the Trojans still have another run 90 feet away and another runner at first.
So with a 4-1 lead,
Right fielder number 14, Corey DeNuno.
in comes DeNuno. Flew out to left in the 2nd inning and to right field in the 4th inning. Miller at 3rd. McSherry at 1st, who just brought in a pair.
Wanted to swing at that.
Yeah, wanted it, exactly. That was like, oh, should I do it? Holds it back. Lowry sets the 0-1. That gets away. Evens a count of 1 ball, 1 strike to the Trojans' right fielder. Here's the 1-1. Fires. High and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. I thought for a minute Winchell was going to make a snap throw to first, but with the speedy Miller at 3rd, that's not a good move. And there's a ball that's going to fall in the right field for a base hit. Biller scores. McSherry will hold at 2nd, and now it's a 5-1 lead for the Trojans. That'll bring up Noviello. Notice how I rolled that off my tongue?
There you go.
With 2 outs, Lowry, and that's popped up out of play towards us.
Nice catch by the fan.
There you go. Again, the winner of this game will play the winner in the Neshoba Valley in Westfield High School, which is going on right now at Worcester. They're not going to hold them on at first. I wouldn't either. You're down 5-1. Oh, that hit him. Dead ball on the elbow.
And the bases are loaded again.
McSherry at 3rd, who singled in and brought in a pair. Donano, am I saying that right? It's
DeNuno.
DeNuno, thank you, at 2nd. And Noviello, who got hit by a pitch. That brings up Sullivan again, who already scored and singled in this inning. So you know what that means? I have to fix my book here and make this inning. They're going to learn all our tricks after this broadcast. Here's the pitch. Called strike.
Just the same thing with McSherry when he had the bases loaded. Don't do anything. Don't try to do anything special. Take a nice smooth swing. 2 runs are going to come in.
Yep. Let's see what Sullivan does here. Lowry's 0-2. And that'll end it, but the damage has been done. And after 5 complete, the Indians won, the Trojans 5. We'll be right back.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hi, everybody, welcome back. Dominic Damiano, Brian, how do you say that last name?
Berard.
I'm kidding, I got you. Brian Berard. We're just messing around. We're having a lot of fun here. We're at Fraser Field here in Lynn, Mass, as the Trojans are up 5-1 as we start the top of the 6th.
Oh, just for that, I'm going to call you Dom Dan Marino.
There you go, that's even. And John Lucasaurus. And we'll touch on the times over for out of bounds after this half inning. Conley sets his first pitch, top of the 6th, is called ball to the pitcher. Second pitch, fouled off. And let's see if we see a little bit of desperation from the Billerica Indians now that they're down by 4 as we start the top of the 6th. It's going to be interesting to see here.
The Indians are down, but they're certainly not out.
Yeah, exactly.
Still have plenty of baseball left to be played here tonight.
Conley's pitch. That was that high and away pitch that kind of scares me a little bit. But like you said, as long as it's not too far into the zone and they can't tag it, he's all right. But you never know. Here's a 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike to the relief pitcher, Dylan Lowry, and that's drilled to right, back on his horses, and there to make the catch. What a great play by Connor Sullivan for the first out.
Now the ball's going to tend to carry a little bit better now to right field. In the beginning of the game, there was a very big wind coming in from right field. It was going to knock down every ball, but now the wind seems to have died down a little bit, so the ball's going to carry a little bit better out to right field.
Kyle Murphy steps in 0 for 2, takes ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Connolly in the dirt. Conley trying to get back in the rhythm here with 1 out in the 6th. And that's a line. Oh, off his glove. Nice try. He almost had it. He couldn't finish the play.
If only the glove was an inch bigger.
Yeah, so that'll go down as an error.
You know, that's really a tough call right there. I mean, that ball was hit pretty hard, but I can definitely understand where they're coming from with the error. He did drop the ball, but that ball was roped.
In comes Winchell. Fouls the first one off, strike 1. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. And then grounded out. Actually, Frowley was in that spot, who left the starting pitcher early in the game in the 2nd inning. Here's the 0-1. Looks at Murphy. And there's a shot just out of the reach of the second baseman. Nice try by Connor Sullivan. I'm sorry, that was, I'll get back to it later, but right now it's 1 in first and second.
You know, if Connor Sullivan's playing the normal position, that was definitely going to be an out, but he had to cover second base with the runner on first. So Billerica benefiting right there from some positioning alignments from BR.
So here comes John Connie, excuse me.
It looks like that's going to be the night for Connolly.
That might be it. He pitched a good game. See what he does here.
Well, he did wave to left field, but I don't see anyone coming from left field.
I don't see nobody coming either. Let's see what.
Been pitching a pretty good game so far. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to pull him out, but
exactly. So they're up 5-1, but with 1 out, the Indians are threatening, and like you mentioned, they are a very decent ball team. Again, the winner of the North Sectional Tournament.
Beating St. John's Prep, which is top 5 in the state. BR coming into this game ranked 8th in the state. Billerica ranked 10th, according to the Boston.com top 20 poll.
So Connie catches his breath as I watch him, poor guy. He sets it, and he's going to stay with Conley with 1 out. In comes the big first baseman, Chris Murphy. Takes strike 1.
Good curveball right there from Conley.
That might just all he needed to just settle down Conley. Say, hey, kid, we're still in it. Let's play.
Your first pitch strikes are going to be key because you can play around with so many other pitches, especially if you get ahead 0-2, 1-2.
Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed.
Had him way out ahead of that. Good changeup right there from Conley. Expecting the heat and way out on his front foot.
Again, they got a couple runners. Runner at their first and second. The 0-2. Swung on and missed for the 2nd out.
Gassed up right there. Elevated the fastball. Couldn't catch up to it.
I'll take that any day. I'll take that fast heat against any opponent any day as long as they swing and miss. So with 2 outs, that brings up the shortstop Connor McDonough, who's also 0 for 2.
It looks like the coaches, DuPont, Brion, and Carney, trying to bring their outfield in.
Oh, sorry about that.
That was my bad.
Conley's first pitch. Called strike. Now, that was a bender I talked about in the third. Remember when I don't know if it was the same batter, but he threw the bender before and it wasn't called.
You know that's a good curveball when he's trying to duck out of the way and it becomes a strike.
Yes, and it curves right in like it's supposed to, break right in.
It's kind of like a Bert Blyleven curveball or Barry Zito type curveball.
Fouled off, and Conley goes ahead 0-2 with 2 outs. Kyle Murphy at second. Winchell, the catcher, at first. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Here's the 0-2 in the dirt, and he held up. Almost looked like he almost gave in on that one.
Well, 1 strike away from getting out of this jam.
Conley sets the 1-2, and that's a dribbler right down the third base line, and he's not going to be able to finish the play. It looks like he twisted himself. So that'll load the bases.
It's unfortunate right there for BR. Billerica, this is where they get back in the game. Like I said, down, certainly not out. This is their chance. They got to capitalize.
He will get credit for an error according to the MIAA.
Now up for the Indians, the center fielder number 22, Matt Clifford.
Now, to his credit, Conley has contained Clifford, the leadoff hitter. His only reasons he's reached was he hasn't reached. He hasn't reached at all. Last time he was hit by a pitch in the last inning. Swung on and missed. So if Conley stays within himself, he should be able to retire this 3rd out.
Yeah, he's just got to bear down right here.
Steps off. Again, McDonough at first. Winchell at second and Murphy at third.
Nice pitch in the dirt right there, Adam. Way out ahead of it, 0-2. 1 strike away again from getting out of this jam.
Excellent. Here's the 0-2 from Conley. Fires, and that's hit the second base. It's routine, and just like that, they go down 4-3, and after 5.5, your score, the Indians 1, the Trojans 5. We'll be back. Brian Barad, Dominic Damiano. Trojans up 5-1. Tyler Carey, he is 1 for 3 on the day. Here's Lavery's first pitch to him. Called strike. He takes it all the way.
We just got word that the Boston Bruins have taken a 1-goal lead over the Chicago Blackhawks,
That'll
courtesy
work.
of Milan Lucic.
Carrying a quick hole, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3.
Can't be looking at that.
And I believe, and I can stick to my guns, you've said that more than once in 6 innings. You have to do, you cannot, this is a championship sectional team. The 0-2, he's going to come at you.
Exactly.
Comes Galvin, who has a ribby to his name. And a singled in, he's actually 2 for 3 on the day. Lowry's 1-0. That gets away. That's not good sign by a catcher. When you turn your head, that means he got crossed up. So here's a 2-0. 1 out already here in the bottom of the 6th. Again, Trojans up 5-1. 3-0. And here's a 3-0. Called strike. Taking it all the way. We've seen that all day long, all night long. At least with 6 innings worth. Both teams taking the 3-0. There's a rip down to right field that will fall for a hit. For a minute, I thought he trapped it. And he'll reach with a single.
It's good effort there by the right fielder. Couldn't quite come up with the catch.
Yeah, that was Kyle Murphy, the right fielder for the Indians. So Brummel steps in, who scored last inning, takes ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And that's fouled off. Should be an easy play for the first baseman, but that's just out of his reach and hits the stands. I'd check that ball out. I bet you that ball has a good divot in it.
Well, they're asking every time the ball goes into the stands, they're asking to return the ball.
Well, at this type of play, you got the best pitches in the state going at it, and it's almost like a single-A ball player. If it's the dirt, it's going to get scuffed, you know. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls. We almost had a quick snap throw down to first, but Winchell thought about it. 2 balls, 1 strike to Mike Brummel. And that's hit the left center. Let's see if that falls. And right there with the play is Kyle Smith. They're going to try to double him up. And they don't. They had a chance. Oh, what a play. They had a chance to double him off after Kyle Murphy came over and made that play in right center. And getting back there in the nick of time is Galvin.
That's tough up there for the first baseman. It bounced well in front of him, and his job was pretty much at that point. He wasn't worrying about the doubling up. He just wanted to get in front of it so the ball didn't get behind him. It did a little bit, but fortunately, no harm done.
Joe Friday 1 for 3 on the day. Quick throwback by the pitcher. 2 outs now. Call ball. Again, Trojans up 5-1. Next pitch, swung on and missed.
Well out in front of that one.
And he does not look too happy that he took a swipe of that one.
You know, those are the pitches me as a hitter you'd always just so upset about. It's a curveball. You think it's a good pitch, and all of a sudden just dips right below you, and you're sitting there. He got me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you got to say is move on to the next pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the Trojans catcher. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Galvin goes. Here's the throw, and this time he is safe again. His second stolen base of the game.
Well, you've seen all these throws from this catcher have just been to the left of second base, and it's a good job from BR. Now you have another runner in scoring positions, and runs are going to come at a premium. This is the state semifinal.
The winner to play Westfield in the Neshoba Valley, which is playing right now in Worcester. Called strike.
Well, at the end of the first period, the Bruins are leading the Blackhawks 1-0 still.
Excellent. Now, I apologize. I thought I had that right. I'm sorry, that was 2-1. Now it's 2-2.
Red Sox are also up in their game.
Here's the 2-2. Fouled off out of play near the Billerica dugout.
While we're talking about other sports here, do see some members of the Bridgewater-Rainham softball team here. So far, I've identified Chelsea Correa and Sarah Dawson. I'm sure there's a few more here, though. BR softball team, #1 ranked team in the state, undefeated regular season, OCL champs. Another berth in the South Sectional Finals. Unfortunately, couldn't pull it off. Faced a pitcher that already committed to Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah, she had some gas, and Sarah Dawson, just a sophomore, 2 years ahead of her, and a lot of players. Maddie Shaw had herself a pretty good game, 1 hit. Had a leadoff double for the Trojans in the bottom half of the first.
And there's a ball at the center, well hit. But right there, the make the catch is the center fielder, Matt Clifford, that retires the sides. And after 6 complete, if I'm right, your score, the Trojans 5, the Indians 1. We will be right back.
Welcome back to a rather chilly night here in Lynn, Massachusetts at Frazier Field, home of the North Shore Navigators of the Future Collegiate Baseball League. Bridgewater Rainham holding a 5-1 lead here after 6. Story of this game has been how sloppy it is. 8 errors combined by the teams, 5 by Billerica. And Conley is back out for his 7th inning of work. BR just been dominant right here. Connolly getting himself out of some jams. BR went hitless, well, went cold with the bats earlier on, but luckily for them, they came back. McSherry with a nice bases loaded 2 RBI single. And that's where we stand 5-1 in the first pitch of the inning. Slow for a ball.
Thank you, sir. I owe you one. Great job like always. Oh, had to wet the whistle. Here's Conley's 1-0 in the dirt, 2 balls. Again, we are up 5-1. When I mean we're talking about the Bridgewater Rainham Trojans, winner of the South Sectional for 2013.
First time that they've won the South Sectional since 2003. So a decade between South Sectional titles for the Trojans.
Here's Conley's 2-0. Nice curve in there for a strike, called strike. 8 errors totally in this game. We talked that during the break. 5 for the Indians, 3 for the Trojans so far in this game. Called strike right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Drew Salick. Single in the first, tripled in the third, and then struck out in the 5th. Now the top of the 7th, he's stepping in there with a 2-2 count. Here's the 2-2. Fouled in the box. That is going to leave a birthmark.
Yeah, a lot of times if you get those right off the shin, I mean, we've seen so many players like Dustin Pedroia wearing those shin guards. And I've been a victim of many of those that gone right off my shin, off the ankle. Those hurt, especially on chilly nights like it is tonight.
Oh, my, I can imagine. Here's Conley's 2-2. Runs the count full to probably the dangerous hitter tonight in this Billerica lineup. Here's the 3-2 from the Trojans pitcher. And that's dribbler down the first baseman. I'm going to say he fouled it off himself in the box, went off his body and rolled fair. So he'll stay alive at 3-2. Nice night. And, you know, that would be a good story for the 4 Deep Sports Talk to cover. The 2013 Bridgewater Rainham girls softball team.
This certainly would be a great story to talk about.
Hi, and he'll reach on a base on balls. And like you mentioned before, this game is far from over. And the Indians, there's a reason why they're the North Sectional champions. And they're threatening, even though it's a walk. Anything can happen in baseball. We're playing 9 innings.
So, Ken, especially in this game where there's been 8 errors, you can't count any team out.
I believe this is a new player, and I apologize. I'll get you the gentleman's number in about 2 seconds. No, that's all right. That's Rob Gambell. That's all right. That's all right, kid. He's 0 for 3 on the day. flew out the center first, struck out looking in the third, and then grounded out in the fifth, 2-3. And in comes John Carney, the manager, and they're going to have a quick conversation. And he's asking him a straight-up question, how's he doing? What's basically what he's probably telling him, right?
Yeah, he's telling him to calm down a little bit. Sure his nerves are getting up, especially when you get into the moments like this, the 7th inning. A lot of times pitchers tend to start counting outs. And, you know, that's something you don't need to be worrying about. And he's just telling this pitcher to calm down, let off a leadoff walk. You don't want the leadoff batter to get on because you don't want to give Billerica any hope that they can come back.
Right.
But yeah, especially a lot of times when you're out there, especially in the outfield where you haven't really seen a lot of action, you start counting the outs left in the game.
So here's a 1-0 by Conley after the meeting in the mound. And just like we saw, was his third appearance. Conley comes right back to this batter with a strike.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want coming out of that meeting. So many times you see pitchers come out and throw a ball and consecutive balls after that, and it feels like the meeting on the mound really did nothing.
Here's the 1-1. Nice curve inside. And I think it was Winchell. He's first time the catcher for the Indians. First he skated him out of the box. He didn't get the call. Then the second time he was up, his last time, but he got that to go. Fouled off down the first base line, and then got it to break inside and got the call. So it does work. It is working for him.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, this is a completely different Jack Connolly than what we saw against Walpole in the South Sectional semifinals, having much better command of, especially of his curveball, but just the strike zone in general. Because in that South Sectional semifinal lasted only 2/3 of an inning, and here he's already gone 6+.
The 1-2 gets away from that'll even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Led the inning off with a walk to Drew South. Here's the 2-2.
You certainly don't want to walk the first 2 batters of this inning.
Excuse me, no you don't. Call ball. Tried to frame it, wouldn't go. So 2 consecutive walks, like you said, not the thing to start the top of the 7th. Drew Salif at second, excuse me.
Looks like
Gambell at first.
And
And
a few
that
words for the home plate umpire.
Oh, yeah? And that'll do it. And he will leave with a round of applause. He's did his job.
He had a heck of a game, 6+ innings, only allowing 1 run on 5 hits. Much better game from what we saw here than what he did in the South Sectional against Walpole, the #1 team in the South Sectional.
And I forgot to mention, and I apologize, he came into this game with an ERA of 0.94. Welcome back, Josh Monson coming in for relief of Mr. Conley as we start the top, as we stay here at the top of the 7th. Indians threatening.
Baseman, number 31, Eric
Eknanian steps in. And we're going to have a quick convo here. Let's see what happens.
Well,
I'm not sure
a
what
good
I
sign.
missed. And let's see if I can get some stats on Monson. And I do. 10 games played, 3.0. 29 innings pitched. His ERA is 2.66. Opponents only batting .215 against him. 32 hits. He's given up 149 at-bats he's faced.
Good pitch right there. And you see Friday, the catcher going out there, he's talking. You have a runner on second base. I'm pretty sure they were just going over signs because you can't throw down the 1-2 in the 4. You got to make sure you got to use different signs. So this making sure they're on the same page with the signs.
Monson sets and fires the 0-1. Beautiful curve.
I felt the breeze up here.
Yeah, yeah. Well put. Again, the Indians threatening. South at second. Gambell at first. Both reached on base on balls. Top of the 7th, nobody out. The 0-2. Monson fires. Away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Monson looks in for the signs. He's really not even checking. Now he checks. I got nervous. And there's a ball hit to center field, and that'll be called. It's overplayed over his head. Carey couldn't get it in. Here comes one run. South will score.
Just misplayed that one. Tyler Carey out in center field.
Let's see if I don't think that went off his glove. I don't think they're going to call that error. That'll probably be given a clean base hit. Let's see how they mark it in the book. We're waiting for the official word on the scorebook. And he is going to be credited for a hit.
The pitcher, number 33, Dylan Lavery.
So he reaches with a single. That moves the run. That moves Gambell to second. Ikanicki in to first on the single. But like you said, he just misplayed the ball.
Yeah, and the wind might have been pushing it a little bit because the wind has picked up a little bit and it's pushing it back in, and he might have tried to account for the wind, came in a little too much, went over his head.
Nobody out. Nice pitch. Called strike.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I just saw someone in the BR fan section in a cap and gown.
You might have.
Yeah, I actually did. Yep, I'm right. I'm not losing my mind.
Here's the 0-1.
I also see someone in a track uniform.
Oh, boy. I have 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Icky in at first, Gambell at second. 1 run already in for the Indians, and Monson steps off. I like the way they do that. I like the way they step off, they start over.
Yeah, get his composure back.
Here's the 2-1, and that's fouled down the first base line.
No, it's really a shame, you know, with Connolly pitching such a good game, and that second run's going to be charged to him because he walked the batter on. So
yes,
hopefully it's just going to be limited to 2 runs.
Monson coming in relief with Connolly, like you said, hopefully trying to get us out of the jam. Indians threatening here, top of the 7th. And there's a ball hit to left, but right there for the catch is Brumell, who makes a nice stab for the first out of the 7th inning. That brings Kyle Murphy. Walked in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, walked in the 5th.
Good old soccer chant going on now.
Here we
there
go.
Now
batting the right fielder, number 27, Kyle Murphy.
Murphy steps up, 2 for 3. He's actually 0 for 3 on the day, but he's 3 for 3 on base percentage. Ball in the dirt, nice stop by Joe Friday for ball 1. Joe pretty much calling his own game, I've noticed. Back there, he checks with Coach Connie.
That's a good sign of maturity right there if a high school catcher can call the game.
Nice pitch, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Indians threatening again, top of the 7th. Monson in relief. In the dirt, away. 2 balls, 1 strike. We've given him everything today. We've given him the Bruins score, the Red Sox score, who's playing who next this Saturday.
Who's on first, what's on second.
Yep. Here's a 2-1. Fouled off, rifled out of play into the stands.
Almost
near.
A good grab.
What's that?
Almost a good grab by the fan over there.
Yep. That'll even the count of 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And Murphy steps out, takes a practice cut. Again, 5-2, Trojans up here in this ball game. There's the 2-2. That'll bring the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Wanted to go after it. Good job laying off it.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners will be going. 1 out. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed. There it goes down, and there's 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up Winchell, who's batting for Frowley, who hurt himself early in the game. He was a starting pitcher of record.
Key strikeout right there for Munson.
Monson sets and fires. High and inside for ball 1 to the Indians catcher. Munson sets and fires. Called strike. Here's the 1-1. Called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it's 2-0 Bruins. Milan Lucic with his 2nd goal of the game.
Excellent.
I had a feeling he was going to have a good series. Then again, it's only been 1.5 games, or half a game rather.
There you go. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt.
There's a good pitch right there. Try to get him to chase.
He's about to deliver the 2-2, 2 outs.
Deuce is wild on the scoreboard here.
Gambell at second, and Nicky in at first. Here it is, and that's hit to the shortstop. We'll flip it to second for the out, and that is the end of the top of the 7th. Excuse me. We have 6.5 complete with your score. The Indians 2, BR 5. We'll be back. All we know is the Trojans are 3 outs away from going to the state finals for Division I.
And what they have to do is put that in the back of their mind. They can't count the outs. He's got to treat this 1 pitch at a time, make sure you get outs. Because if you start looking ahead, you're going to start making these mistakes.
The most dangerous hitter is up to bat for the Indians. Norviello fires. Ball high.
Wow, it only took us to the 9th inning before we heard the sirens.
Yep, yeah. 2 balls, no strikes as I mark the book and try to catch up here. Noviello fires the 2-0. Ball 3. Now he's working kind of fast.
He's getting a little amped up right here. All he has to do is take a step off the mound and just breathe and relax. He's getting a little amped up
Coming in to
here.
close the game. And the Indians start off with a base on balls. Not the way the Trojans want to start the top half of the 9th.
But with 1 pitch, there could be 2 outs in the inning. So
yeah, exactly correct. Good point by you. Noviello sets. Called strike, not caught, but nice call. This is Gambell, who came in relief. He's also 0 for 2. He has reached on base on balls in the 7th. I think that's wrong. That should be 1-1. Scoreboard's wrong. Here's the 1-1, and that's dribbled down the third baseline foul.
Hopefully the guy in blue has the right count.
Yeah, exactly.
If not, we're in deep trouble.
He should.
Because someone's wrong.
I know, right? Let's see what he says when he puts the ball back in play. It should be. I have 1-2. I don't. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
now
there they go. They fixed it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Sellick led off with a base on balls. The 1-2 puts the ball back in play. Noviello's pitch fires. Doesn't go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Noviello shakes off one sign. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and missed for the first out.
That's just pure gas right there.
Now comes Ikaninen. Ikaninen, he is 1 for 4 in the day. Ball one. Noviello sets. The 1-0. High and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. No, 2-0. I apologize. Making it my own count now. Called strike. There we go.
Hey,
I did get it right.
Yeah.
It only took me 3.5 seconds. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Noviello looks at first. He fires. Called strike.
Good curveball right there, Andrew Noviello.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And this umpiring crew is doing exactly what an umpiring crew is supposed to be, seen and not heard. Here's a 2-2. Low and away. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Salvik will be going. Selfick will be going on this pitch. The 3-2. And that's hit to center field for a hit. So the runners will move up 1 base. Selfick at second. Ekaninian at first. We're going to have a pinch runner. I will get you that gentleman's number in a minute. Pinch running for Ekaninian is number...
Looks like number 12.
Matter. Alec Matter. And with that, it looks like we could have a change here.
It's just going to be another infield meeting.
That's another infield meeting with 1 out. There you go.
Number 12, Alec Matar.
Matar. Hey, guess that one right too.
Just want to take the chance to thank everyone for watching this Bridgewater television production here of Bridgewater Rainham Trojans baseball state semifinal here in Lynn, Massachusetts.
And the umpire breaks it up. It was so funny. Every time Coach Connie came out to Conley, next pitch was a strike.
And that's exactly what I want to see out of your pitch. You want to calm them down a little bit. They're getting a little too amped up. You know, they're looking forward to the end of the game. 2 outs left. They can't think of those 2 outs. They got to make sure that they take this pitch by pitch.
Lavery takes ball 1. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Here we go. They are threatening. Here's the next pitch. Ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Selfick at second. Matter at first. Pitch running for Iaricki, and it called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's a 2-1, and that's hit the first. McShay will take it himself. McShay will take it himself for the second out. But the runners will move over. Round out to 3 on the play for the second out. And we'll have a recap. We'll have a recap right after this ball game. It's 2 outs. 1 out away, going to the state finals.
Two runners in scoring position here. The tying run at the plate for the Indians.
Murphy, who walked in, actually walked twice. He's 0 for 4 in the day. Struck out his last at bat. He's having him move him back. He's having the players move back in the dugout, so there's nothing crazy going on. Noviello's first pitch to Murphy. High and away. Noviello fires. Called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like the BR Faithful is going to get on their feet right now. 1 strike away from going to the state championship game.
The 1-2 from Noviello. Swung on out of play. Fouled off out of play, excuse me. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And isn't that the 23rd time? I started from when you said 20.
If only we got $1.
Right, all right. Here's the 1-2. 1 pitch away from going to the state finals. Dribbling to McSherry. Takes it by himself. And the Trojans are headed to the state finals.
And the fans are running on the field now, too. What a great moment for these kids.
Yes.
Bridgewater A&M in the Division I state championship game. Obviously, right now, we don't know if it's against Neshoba Valley or Westfield.
Yeah, we don't know. We do not know. But right now, there's a little bit of the scoring summary. It all went down in the first inning when Galvin hit an Auburn knocked-in carry in the first. Billerica answered with Lowry, the fielder's choice, knocking in Winchell to tie the game in the fourth inning. Then BR was all BR in the fifth. Galvin knocked in Sullivan. Then it was McSherry knocking in Galvin in Friday to make it what it stands right now, a 5-2 final. And with that, the Trojans will move on and wait for the, like you mentioned before, the Neshoba. Thank you, I missed a vowel. Neshoba Valley and the Westfield game, which is played, it might be already over at Worcester State, will be played this Saturday. With that, I'd like to thank Brian for hanging in with me. I hope I didn't, I know I butchered
oh, no, we had a fun time.
We did have a fun time. Congratulations to Coach Connie and the Trojans. They'll play for all the marbles this Saturday in Worcester. Everyone have a fantastic night.